Alright, so you've downloaded Phasmophobia, you're ready to play your first match, you've decided to play it by yourself. Your first house is going to be Tanglewood, as you can see on the screen. We're going to be starting with all of the basic starter items because you have no money, you haven't unlocked anything, so these are all the items that you're going to get to figure this ghost out. Now, as I'd mentioned before, I highly recommend that you build your own custom from the very get-go, because you can build a custom better than the presets the game has. You are going to have amateur, intermediate, actually let's look through this real quick. It's amateur, intermediate, professional. It's going to be nightmare, insanity. Professional is where I tell everybody to kind of start off. I have an orange pillow behind me. But even professional has its flaws, which is why I built a custom one. You can see up here, wherever the card shows up on the video, where I built a professional contract. And I highly recommend that you check that out because this should be your build when you first start playing. This actually has a better multiplier than a normal professional, and it has conveniences like my phone ringing when I'm trying to make a video. Anyway, it has conveniences such as all hiding places open. When you walk into the house, you will have the fuse box already on, so you can just start clicking on lights. Everything else is pretty much the way it should be. You have a higher grace period. You still get all your evidence. So check that video out. Build this custom. Give it a shot. See what you think. But let's go ahead. Start up this match. Let's go to Tanglewood. And let's figure out our ghost on starter items. Something that I have not done for a very long time myself. Alright, so when you first get into the game, you're going to see that you do have a board over here. You can get up to 10 photographs to fill up your journal. 3-star photographs is what you're going for. However, when you first start out, you don't have a camera. So don't worry too much about that, alright? So don't even really worry about the objectives. You can get the ones that you can if you want, but see, look, there's a motion sensor. I don't have motion sensors either. So objectives aren't really your main concern when you first start out. It's about identifying the ghost, finding out how to identify where the ghost is. And I will tell you, no matter what you're doing, if you're playing with evidence, you're playing with sanity, and you don't have, like, any means of, like, special knowledge to kind of figure out where the ghosts are, where they usually are in houses and stuff like that, you're going to want to take an EMF reader. You're going to take the EMF reader in case it touches something. You want to find out what it touched so you know the general area where the ghost is. The audio isn't always perfect in this game, so you might think you actually heard it come from over here. Or you might think you heard it come from over here when actually it came from the opposite side. So, and another thing that we're going to take, this is usually my go-to. My go-to used to be, before the update, was like a parabolic microphone, because the ghost body used to emit sounds on the parabolic microphone, so you could always pick up like this fuzz on the ghost body when you identified where it was. You don't really have that anymore. So the next best thing you can do is find out where the coldest room is, which is why we're going to start off with a thermometer. If the ghost touches something while I am walking through the house, I can go with the EMF to figure out where it was. Other than that, I'm going to be going room to room and just measuring temperatures and waiting for it to start dropping. And we'll probably start off with a flashlight too. We don't really need this. I'm going to do this because this is probably what you guys would end up doing, is taking a flashlight in there. But I'm really used to the houses, the layout and everything, so I usually don't run in there with a flashlight. Plus we already have the power turned on. But we'll take flashlight and we'll just kind of look around here. Oh my god! I want to be very clear about something. Make sure when you try to apply a game mode, Jesus Christ. Wait a second. I picked the wrong game mode. So, let me just guess a thay, because that was a fast mother. And we're going to start that over again and pretend none of this ever just happened. Jesus. I can't believe I did that. I picked the wrong game mode. There's a thay. So that multiplier was actually a 535 multiplier. That's one of my fun setups. That is not what I meant to do. Fortunately, we got the ghost right, because that is the only ghost that's going to run around like that. So what I forgot to do here was go to... Or I picked the wrong one altogether. I didn't click apply. So make sure once you pick the game mode you want to play, make sure you click apply. And that is how you end up in the match you wanted to be in the first place. Bless you. Sneezy cat. Alright, let's go back in here. We're going to start off with the items that we were going to start off with before. EMF reader, flashlight, and thermometer. This is more like it. Alright, and now we're going to go in here and try to figure out where the ghost is. I can't believe I did that. That scared the crap out of me, too. Like, I wasn't expecting... It's been a long time since I played with sanity, so I thought I had a demon there for a second, but turned out it wasn't. Alright, and do make sure one of the first things that you do is get the power box on if you don't already have it on. Like, if you're not using this custom, get the power on. Because you need to keep your sanity up so you can actually have time to gather evidence. So you see the temperature is actually rising here. So let's go this way. Temperature's still rising here. We're just, like I said, we're going to go from room to room until the temperature starts dropping. And it looks like on the map that I'm currently on, it's going to default to about 20 degrees. Maybe a little higher. So we're looking for a room where it is below 20 degrees. Or where it starts dropping from 20 substantially. Alright, so not in there. Not in the living room. See if it's in the kitchen. And again, always keep the lights on and until you're ready to be hunted. And that's what cursed objects are for. If you need to hurry up and force a hunt, but you kept your sanity too high during the match, use the cursed object and get it to hunt. So it's not kitchen, it's not dining room. Wow, is it going to be the very last room that I go to? Which the very last room that I go to is going to end up being the basement? Unless it's in one of the master bedroom off areas. Nope, look at that temperature dropping now. Look how fast it's dropping too. So we have found our ghost room. Oh, plus this too. Ghost has already been knocking stuff around. That's another thing you can look forward to as well. Is whether or not the ghost has been interacting with items previously. See, I'm not getting an EMF reading, but I can tell you right now those items are out of place. Okay. So, we're going to turn that light on too. So we have the EMF reader in there. It's not going to be too hard to get fingerprints, never mind. We can get pretty much all the evidence that we need. So let's go back into the van. We're going to grab a spirit box. And we're going to grab this. And that's probably all for now. Like I said, we're going to hang on to the flashlight. So fingerprints, if you don't have doors available, which if this ghost is in the basement, there's no doors down in the basement. Unless it roams up the stairs and touches that door, which is usually very unlikely. Another place you can get fingerprints is going to be like on the glass, on windows, and on doors, like patio doors like this. But if you don't have any of that available, they give you totes. So a ghost will actually smack these totes and give you fingerprints if there are fingerprints to be had. So let's just lay that right there. And to use Spirit Box, we need to make sure we have the lights off in the room. So we're going to turn the lights off. We're going to go down here in the dark. I use speech to text, actually, because sometimes the language model just does not pick my voice up. So as I'm asking questions, you can see the red dot on the Spirit Box lighting up. That's letting me know that the ghost is hearing me. It's just not responding to me. So I'm in the right area. Oh, look at my cursed object. It's a Ouija board. Where are you? Where are you? How old are you? See, it's not lighting up for my voice. It doesn't pick my voice up for some reason. So do pay attention to that too. Take note of whether or not your language model on your system is actually picking up your in-game voice so the ghost can hear you. Because this one apparently is not. Alright, so we're going to grab this, and we're going to grab this. So, another thing I want you to pay attention to here is when I lay this book down, you can actually see there is a range. If you look around the outskirts of the room, there's a range that this book will operate in. So you need to make sure that you place this book somewhere where the ghost is regularly interacting. So I'm going to start off, because I know the ghost has interacted. Why can't I turn the light on? Where's my cursor? Thank you very much. Oh, there we go. So we got an EMF reading, right? Let's see where the ghost was touching things. I missed my opportunity. But I think it was somewhere towards the back. So we're going to place this in this area right here. Because the ghost had previously interacted with things here. So maybe it's frequenting that area. If the ghost is hanging out back there, and I place the journal up here in the front corner, it's not going to catch it back there. You got to make sure it's placed in the interaction range. Wow, we got fingerprints. This is why I threw the glow stick down on top of that. So it'd be really easy to see fingerprints right off the bat without having to take any extra action. So we know we have fingerprints. Ghost is over here playing now though. So I guess for the time being, what I might do is that's a ghost event. They'll come out and try to scare you, try to drop your sanity. Just smack that over there. So we'll check these fingerprints too. There's a ghost that will give you fingerprints that are 6-fingered fingerprints, or handprints. They give you handprints that are 6 fingers. That's known as an obaki. So it's always worth, just checking those fingerprints again here and there. Ghost. Very interactive. And I'm using the EMF reader on every item that it touches to see if I can get an EMF 5 reading. Because the only evidence that we know that we have so far is fingerprints. So let's mark fingerprints. Or ultraviolet, I should say, since they call it ultraviolet now. And next thing we're going to do is we're going to get the orb cam in. That'll be all the equipment that we have to start with. But all of the equipment is enough to give you a piece of evidence to help identify the ghost. You get 3 pieces of evidence, and if you do get all 3, that will identify your ghost by default. Unless you have something like a mimic. Mimics will give you 1 extra piece of evidence that's not real, and that is orbs. Alright, so now I'm going to make sure my flashlight is off in front of my face, so that way I'm not blinding out if there are orbs. I'm not blinding them out. And I do not see any on first glance. Always check in behind things, check corners, check behind shelves and stuff. You want to make sure they're not hidden anywhere. There they are. Look at this. These are orbs. See that little floating ball down there in the middle of my screen that I'm following around? See how much harder it is to see when you have your flashlight on? You can see it, it's just harder to see. So we do have orbs that is still a regular handprint. So that's not good actually so far. So ultraviolet and orbs. So Banshee, Hantu, Obaki. But remember, there's still always the possibility it could be a mimic and those orbs aren't real because a mimic's evidence is ultraviolet, spirit box, and freezing temperatures. So we need to keep an eye on freezing temperatures. Although I didn't get spirit box, so this is likely not going to end up being a mimic because that's required evidence for the mimic on a 3 evidence run. We don't have freezing temperatures either. If it comes to a point where we are just not getting something, when you're playing on 3 evidence, it is okay to mark it out. Also, you notice I'm going to move the book a little bit now because it's been interacting right here in this area. I'm trying to keep the book very close to the ghost. So if I am going to get ghost writing, I will. However, we only have 1, 2, 3, let's see here. Ghost writing, actually, if I was to get ghost writing, it wouldn't even identify a ghost. So ghost writing is going to be out. EMF 5 would end up being an Obaki. Freezing temperatures would end up being a Hantu. Dots would give me a Banshee. And Spirit Box would give me nothing unless it was a Mimic. So, and we didn't get Spirit Box. It doesn't even look like we're going to get freezing temperatures. So when you're going to end up getting freezing temperatures, it usually doesn't stop like this. You know, when your thermometer stops just right here at like 1 degree, that's like as low as it will go without it being able to be identified as freezing. Let's look, bless you. Let's look for EMF 5 again. Oh my god, I can't pick this up. Yeah. Just EMF 3. So we're not getting that yet. So let me move the dots a little bit. I gotta turn that flashlight off. I'm not used to playing with flashlight. Bless you, Butters. See if we can get dots over in this corner. So once again, that's just a normal handprint, 5 fingers. Another normal handprint, 5 fingers. Does somebody have a cold? Did I give you my cold? Alright, so... Can I please pick this up? Thank you very much. Yeah, see, the temperatures aren't even budging at this point. So, I don't think we're going to get freezing. It could still happen. Sometimes you have to be patient. I've seen freezing not show up for like 20 minutes into a match. Ghost writing does not matter. So, I think we might end up getting... Alright, so here's something I'm going to do now. I've done a really good job staying in the light. So I've done a good job keeping my sanity up, which is why a ghost is going to want to event and try to bring my sanity down. We're going to check our sanity because I want to know if this thing is ready to hunt or could hunt. So sanity is at just above 50, so I run the risk of getting hunted when I go in there because most ghosts, well, all except for one, their hunting threshold is going to be 50% or more. The only one that's not is a shade. I think it's 35% for a shade. So when I walk in there and my sanity drains a little bit more, my average is going to hit 50. If that thing events on me again, I'm definitely going to be below 50 and it can hunt. So unfortunately though, all of these ghosts that I have to choose from, they all hunt at that normal threshold. So we're getting close to being hunted. We don't have sanity medication. So if you really want to put it off a little longer for your third piece of evidence, then what I would recommend doing is staying in the light. As I said, that's why it's so important to get the power box on, keep your sanity up. The only reason my sanity is draining at this point is because that thing's evented on me twice. Otherwise, I'd be probably around 70% still right now, or 60-some%. Come on, Ghost. Give me what I want. It is just not going to be freezing temperatures today. Temperature's actually gone up a degree. So the way it's eventing would make me think almost like maybe Banshee. It's really letting me know that it likes me. Banshee Hantu Obaki, or an Obaki. Let's see if there's any more handprints. We're just looking for 6-fingered handprints again. Of course, we got none currently. Dots are really hard to get. And you know what? If I'm going to see dots better, I need to do dots in the dark. Problem with doing dots in the dark is I'm going to drain my sanity real quick because I am in the dark. It's going to get me hunted. So what I'm going to try to do maybe is just walk around a little bit with this. So if this is a Banshee, it will tend to wander towards me. So I stand a good chance of picking it up. There it is. And did you see how it just wandered right towards me? It is a Banshee. Those are my dots. So a ghost will go into dots mode when it's time for them, or basically when the RNG runs and says, hey, it's decided it's going to go into dots mode now. Banshee will roam towards its target when they are in dots mode. And as you saw, that thing roamed right into me when I had the dots on my hand. So I didn't necessarily have to have these dots set up anywhere special. I could have just kept them on me because the ghost roamed to me. So it is a Banshee. There it is again. See the dots? What if I can get one more dots without getting hunted? What do you think? I'm gonna go... I don't want to go into that corner because that corner's dark. And like I said, I'm trying not to get hunted. I just want you guys to see the dots one more time. Because people talk about it being really hard to get dots. Especially with like the tier 1 dots. And I do sympathize. I've been there. But it's really not that bad. Over time, you just notice it just starts happening for you, and it's because you start changing your technique. You don't even realize you're doing it probably, but you start changing your technique to make them appear. Loves the rocking chair. Absolutely loves the rocking chair. Go into dots mode one more time, Ghost. Without killing me. Without hunting and killing me, please. There it is. Run right on top of me. And see, it's quick though, isn't it? It's kind of hard to tell sometimes. Like, did I actually just see that? Did I not actually just see that? But again, the more you play, the more you get used to the ghost apparitions, you'll be able to pick it out pretty easy. So, dots, ghost orbs, ultraviolet, it is a banshee. And just in case you were wondering about the orb thing and mimics, again, dots, EMF level 5, ghost writing, none of those are evidence for a mimic. The evidence for a mimic would be ultraviolet, freezing temperatures, and spirit box. And you see there's no ghost highlighted right now, but ghost orbs are fake. So when you cross those out, what are you left with? A mimic. But this is not a mimic, of course, because we have dots. This was, and we didn't have freezing temperatures, we did not have spirit box, this was a banshee. So successful run, came dangerously close to the hunt mode, hunt time frame, whatever you want to say, of the match there. But we got lucky. We avoided getting hunted, we got all 3 evidence, and we identified a banshee in the basement at Tanglewood. That is your first match. Now, that went pretty smooth for me. Don't expect that it will be that smooth the first time you go in here, because it's all brand new stuff. But just remember, I said, how did I find that room? Just look back on the video. How did I find the room? I found the room by looking for the room that was colder than the rest. In most houses, in most cases, I shouldn't say houses, but just maps in general, like every area is going to be like the same temperature, except for the ghost room. So you'll know when you get in there because that thermometer will just start dropping. So that is how I identified the ghost room without hearing anything, seeing anything get thrown, was just with the temperature. And then, like I said, you always have that secondary, the EMF. If you can't find the room, or if while you're looking for the room with the thermometer, you happen to hear something, you can use that EMF to see where that was, and that will get you even closer to where the ghost room is faster. So, and then it's just a matter of gathering your evidence when you get there. Keep the lights on, keep your sanity up, and that gives you the best chance to be able to get all your evidence before it goes too deep into the match and the ghost starts hunting you relentlessly, and then you can't even get your evidence. That is probably the best tip I can give you, is keep your sanity up. Keep the power box on, keep the lights on. Alrighty, that was our first match, and I think it worked out pretty good. To all of you that are just starting out on Phasmophobia, I just want to wish you the best of luck, and just know that the more you play, the more you get used to things, the more you figure out the game. But that's how you're basically going to start out your first match. You're going to start out in Tanglewood. You're going to start off with just the basic stuff right there. So, and as you saw, it's not too scary, you know. And I played on professional. I didn't play with any type of buffer or like a, you know, a 2-minute or 5-minute grace period. You know, when I started the match, we were okay. Everything was fine. I did load the wrong game mode when we first started up, and that almost turned out pretty bad for me because Faye is my #1 killer. But we got everything straightened out. We finished up. So thank you all for being here. Enjoy playing some Phasmophobia. I hope to see you. What the crap was that? What was that sound? Anyway, I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.